Hello, everybody. It's Sunday and we are super excited to welcome you all here to our webinar today. We proudly present the Academy Collection 2021 Bold. We invite you to train the looks of the Academy Collection together with creative people from all over the world. Our trainers today are Alexander Dinter and Florian Lanzel. They will share everything about this collection with you. And today we will cut and color the look Tony. But before we start, let me give you some technical details. As you already know, today's webinar is in English. Microphones and cameras of all participants are switched off. We can't hear and see you. At any time, you can ask questions using the chat function. You find the chat function in your control panel on the right top corner. Please send the questions to the host, that's me, in English. If you want to minimize the control panel, just press the orange arrow. So I think that's it. We're ready to go. Let's switch over to Alexander in Berlin and to Florian in Munich. Hello, Alexander. Hello, Florian.
Hello, how are you?
Fine, thank you. And you?
So we're waiting for Florian. Okay, let's start. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to be here with you today. This is the very first digital first view, which is usually held in Paris at the same time. So I'm glad that we can meet on this channel. And the positive thing about the whole situation is that we can reach much more people than usually because our headquarters doesn't hold so many people as we have online today. So before we start with our first look, I would like to introduce you to Florian. So I hope you can see Florian. I'm looking parallel to the monitor and waiting for him. So
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Yes, but we can't see.
Good morning, dear La Biosthetic community. Good morning to Saskia in Pforzheim and to Alex in Berlin.
Hello.
Hello.
So Florian, we can hear you, but we can't see you, but it doesn't matter. I hope we can see you later when you have your own part. So the idea for today is that we will present you one of our looks, which called Tony, out of our Bold collection. And we will start with a haircut first, then have a little break, and then we introduce you to the color. So this is when you will see Florian. So Florian, thank you, and hope to see you later. And yeah, before we start, I prepped a little bit with my sectioning, but before we go into that theme a little bit deeper, I would like to present you our collection teaser, which is just roughly a minute, but it gives you an idea about the cut, which one we will present to you today. So Saskia, you can start, please. So that was our teaser for our very first look. The model called Tony, and the look by, in terms of cutting, called The Edge. And it's a combination of layered and disconnected areas It's asymmetric, and it's kind of a bob shape, but it has a wonderful break. And for me, under the bottom line, how I would explain that look, it's a bold and edgy look. These are probably the main keywords what I would use. Before we start with the cutting, I spent a few minutes to prepare the sections, because the sections are probably a little bit complicated, but at the very end you will see it's easy to understand. And maybe we can go with our camera a little bit closer, and then I will show you how to section the whole thing off. I think this is a very important point. Sectioning always gives us the direction for the haircut, and if you have a really good section or sections, it's much easier to carry on to build up the shape. So maybe we can switch to the zoom camera to be a bit closer. I'm trying to organize this as good as I can. All right, so we need to be here. So all right, I used today a little bit smaller clips because it's easier to see. These are not my cutting clips, but you will understand later that this is a bit easier now. So the original parting line of my model. So, and on both sides, you have sections. So first of all, on this side, you have a section which is horizontal, and this will be the length which I would create, which is like the break in the shape. I will start with that in a few seconds. But if you look here on top, between this section and the natural parting line, you have a little section which allows you to create a little disconnections here on the side. So, and then if you take a look here, you will see that there is a curved line following and including the crown area, and it ends on this vertical section here. Okay, so these sections, they are at the moment sectioned off. These are the longer sections, and they will be later disconnected. So from here, we will start with the guideline, of course, in the shortest area of the haircut, because this makes a lot of sense and is probably the easiest way. And from here, I will use my original cutting clips. I'm just sectioning off. First section is on top of the right ear. It's a horizontal section. And from here, we will create the first line. It will be a very blunt line and horizontal. And maybe we can switch to the close-up camera, please. So, and from here, we will build up the horizontal guideline, which is just a little bit below the ear. Just make sure you have a horizontal shape. You don't need to stay longer in the front or anything like that. Cut it really horizontal. I'm following with my second section, and you will work with this technique all the way through. So make sure you have a nice tension, not too much tension. And you work all the way back. So when it comes to section the whole thing off, just if you see this blunt line now, make sure that you don't section too far behind the ear, otherwise you would create a little hole in between, okay? Okay, so this is probably just 0.5 centimeter below the ear. And we don't need any elevation, so try to work with a 0-degree elevation. All right, next one. Okay, this is the last one. All right, here we go. So this is kind of the edge in the shape. This is how I would explain it. And I think if you talk about disconnection, this is a very simple but strong way of working with these disconnected areas, but still keep the look in which is kind of a disconnected bob shape. So this is the first step. All right. So we keep this, and now we will start working in the internal length of the second side. And now you should probably take a closer look. This is a very interesting technique. So we will start with a vertical section, which is kind of on top of the ear, in the center of the ear here. And all right, this is it. This is the area. And you will start now on the top of this section with a horizontal section. Usually I would stand on the other side. I would stand here in this area, but this is actually not good for you because you won't see a lot. So this is probably for you a better way. So now I'm starting with my guideline for the internal layering. So this is it. It's the first one. You can use the first one and play with it, so you will always see and you can control where the layers are exactly. So because of this area, this is covered from a longer area of the top. So here you can go a little bit shorter just to make sure you have a beautiful layered movement in this underneath area. So as you can see, I'm going a little bit shorter, and this is the way how I would also recommend doing this technique or applying this in the salon. So on one point, you need to start with your guideline, and now I'm more happy. So now I can really see this is the area where I want my layers to start. And now I'm working with my second section. And now it comes to the point with over direction. So I would recommend to over direct the whole panel to the very first section. And make sure the angle of this section is horizontal. You don't need to over direct the front, okay? Next one. So now back to the very first section. And in between, you can check the movement visually. Okay, very good. Next one. And again, over direct to the very first one. Okay. Maybe I can show you one from the front. Maybe this is better for you. Let's check that position. I hope you can see everything. Yeah, I think that's a good one. Yeah, that looks good to me. So next section. And again, over direct, everything up. Up to the very first one. And make sure everything is clean. Okay, so now that will be the last one. You can see from the last one, there is not much to cut. So don't be too shy to cut a lot off, because if the whole area stays too long, you will have a volume which is too round, okay? And as you can see here, the length, what I've pre-cut it before, it's still there, okay? So I would say the key is the over direction and also the position that you will stay on the very first section for the whole panel, okay? And now you can play with it. I think it's a wonderful shape. At the very end, we will work with a line which should sit roughly below the chin, okay, just that you understand. So, all right, it was the first panel. Now I will start with the second one. The second one follows slightly the head shape. And I would recommend just to use another clip to make sure you have a clean section. And all right, this is the panel. It's a bigger panel now. It's a bit wider than the one before. So, and what you will do now is you will use the first panel, what we've done previously, as a guide. So here you can see there is the guideline. And from here, we're working backwards. But make sure that your length goes a little bit shorter as you follow the head, okay? So this is the second one. Over directing up. And now slightly follow the head shape, which means you will get a little bit shorter. Okay, so next section. Again to the very first one. Okay. Next one. And make sure you use the previous panel as a guide. I think this is really important and makes life so much easier. So now you can check a little bit visually. I think that works quite well. So what we need here is a layered shape with a lot of movement, but making sure you're not too thin on the outline. So at the very end, if you work on finer hair, you have to make sure that you don't cut too much off. Otherwise, the outline will be probably a bit too thin. Okay, so next one. So I think from here, there is not much to cut. Yeah, just a little bit. So I think this is the last section here. From the one below, there won't be anything to cut off. And already here, there's nothing to cut, actually. I'm just want to make sure and be safe that I didn't forget anything. So, all right, that's good so far. So you can see it's a nice layered shape with a lot of weight at the contour, which is good. And now from here, we will follow with the third panel, which is the last one. We will do exactly the same as before. But here, as well, we have to follow the head shape, which means the line should get a little bit shorter. Okay, so I would recommend to do a little subsection because it's a quite long section. And from here, you follow the head shape and your line has to get shorter. Okay. It's a lot of hair. So, and now it ends behind of the right ear. Okay. All right, that's it. And now parallel section. All the way up. Until you end behind the ear. So, and now you can see how the shape works. Next section, all the way up. This is easier when the hair is a little bit thinner or finer. So here on the dummy head, you need to make sure that you work with the product which is smoothing the hair a little bit. So I used Essence de Protein before, just to make sure I can comb the hair. Otherwise, it's really hard. So there might be one more section. We'll comb it all the way up the hair. Yeah, there's not much. Okay. So this is it. Okay, so with these three panels, we already created the whole internal shape of this area. And I think it's a very simple way and also interesting way in terms of layering. I just will do a little cross check, which now is in the opposite way. So I'm working now with different sections. So I had horizontal sections at the beginning, and now I'm working with vertical sections. I just want to make sure everything is clean. And now I'm following the head shape. Now I'm behind the ear and working from here backwards. So I might have to turn the head a little bit that you can see better. So I think this is a good way of cross-checking. And I think in general, the cross-check is always a good thing to do. I do it a lot, actually. I think it's a great tool of making sure that the shapes are really working. So, all right, cross-check is done. And from here, I recognized when I created that look that sometimes behind the right ear, you have a little weight here, okay? So this comes probably from the difficulty of layering around the head, which is not an easy thing to do. So what I recommend is that I start behind the ear, now with a slightly diagonal section, and just making sure that you get kind of a slimmer shape here in this area, but make sure that you don't touch the line. But this is also quite a short area, so you can't damage anything. So I would start from here, lifting the hair up and working with this angle, making sure that this area is a bit flatter at the end. Because also don't forget, from the top, you will have longer bits, they will drop on top of this shape. So if you keep too much volume here in this area, it will be too round. The volume is too much, okay? And now this is the third section, and just make sure that you over direct everything to the first section, okay? Okay. And you can see there is still enough length, but the shape is changing a little. It's getting a little bit flatter here, and this is what we want. So I had 3 sections. Maybe there's one more. This might be the last one. Just checking if there is more. All right. So this is it. Because the hair has a little wave, now it gets a little bit wavy actually and shows a lot of volume. So what I will do now is from here, I will blow dry the hair just to make sure the hair gets flat and I'm able afterwards to create the underneath line. So this is really important. If you want to do it now, you could do it. If the hair would be really straight and less hair, you could right now start and create the bottom line. But I'm not a fan of it doing it in wet hair anyway, so I really love to work in dry hair. So why not blow drying it? So the product I will use is the Volumizer. This is the product we also had on Tony, on our model on the collection. So I'm using the same product just to make sure the hair is kind of controlled. And make sure you learn how we created this look in the original collection. All right. So I will start using my ceramic brush. We all know it. The logo should be in the right one. And I will start with horizontal section or slightly diagonal, starting here in the front and in a very classic way. So now I'm using my styling brush just quickly to work more diagonal and to smooth the hair a bit. So now the next step is a real must-have. So the next step is working with the flattening iron. I would say without this, you don't have a chance to control these hairs, because what we want is a very smooth hair. And this is why I'm using Heat Protector. As you know, it's kind of our standard product as a fantastic product to make sure that the hair is heat protected. And as you can see, what I love, or the way I love using the flattening iron, is I don't start at the roots. I'm working more on the midlands and ends. And because I see it a lot with using a flat iron more at the roots, but it always creates lines, sometimes too much body, and we're using the flattening iron not to get any body. So as you can see, the volume is going down. This is what we want to achieve here. And also you can see that I'm using a little bit bigger sections. So now I'm working in the back area. Have to section a little bit just to make sure I can work underneath. Okay, now I'm coming to the other side. Have to use some product again. Starting right here, behind the ears. Working with diagonal sections around the head. So just make sure you're catching every hair, every area. So, and now we're working further, and I will use a clip quickly just to make sure I can really work underneath, because this is important. I don't want to achieve volume here with this blunt line. I want it more flat. Okay, that's better. The hair is really rough, and I used conditioner and Essence de Protein, but still the hair is not really easy to come through, but we're trying our best over here. And you can see here it starts to show the break, the edge in this bold shape really well. So this is what we want. Good. I think that works pretty good. Want to check the other side. Maybe there is something underneath I have to work on again. The better the shape is prepared, the easier it is to work afterwards. So, and from here, yeah, I think I got it. Looks quite even and controlled. I mean, it's no problem to work again with the flattening iron if you think you need to do anything, if you need to work again on the smoothness of the hair. So, but I'm fine right now. So what I will do first, before I start with my guideline underneath, I will go again into my shape, into the layered area, and just point cut a little bit into the line, just to make sure that the shape internally is really soft. And if you do this, make sure you don't create a new line, because the line is good and the length is good. Just break the line a little bit. And this is something what I would always recommend as an important step for each haircut, especially when you work with disconnection. You need to make sure the shape is smooth and easy. So now I'm following the head shape, working to the back. What you also could do is that you work again horizontal, over direct everything up, and break the line. So here you have a few options. So. And always use your mirrors. Make sure you can check the movement of the area here. Make sure you're happy. So I'm nearly finished. So if you spot some areas, they're a little bit thicker, I would take them and make sure that you work with a point cutting technique and you just make the area a little bit finer. So this is a very visual thing here. Right now I'm cutting quite deep, as you can see, because there in this area is a lot of length and I want to make sure it blends really, really soft. All right. So good. I think I can start with creating my outline, and I will start here on the heavier side using a freehand technique which is very vertical, and I'm cutting really, really softly up to down. So this is a point where you also can get really creative and work with different shapes and lengths. And as you can see, I'm starting quite soft, and I'm trying not to cut too much off, because it's a process. And I think if you are too rough, you probably cut the whole thing too short. So take your time. And find your right length. If you are a fan of razors, so I think this here is an option and probably a great alternative also work with a razor. I personally I'm more a scissor fan. That's why I'm quite happy using my scissors, but it's an option. So now I'm working around the head. And you see in between, I'm cutting with my scissors upwards, but also here in a very, very soft way. And you can see with this technique, you are quite fast and you are quite soft. You have to have good scissors, actually. Sharp scissors. In the nape of the neck, I'm starting to work a little bit higher, actually. Also to get a little flatter shape, because there is much hair. There's much more hair in the nape of the neck than at the sides. So this is why you have to make sure you don't work only in the underneath area. Otherwise, you create a lot of volume, and this is what you don't want. Yeah, and check yourself, use the mirrors. We don't want to create a line, okay? So this is actually not the thing what we want. But you should keep a kind of a bob feeling in your mind. So you can see it's a very loose technique, a very soft technique. If you would have actually a customer with less hair and finer hair, you could think about working this area a little bit more technically. So this is absolutely possible, but I wouldn't recommend this here. So I need to have to check the whole thing from the back, just to make sure we kind of even with the shape. And again, now it could be the time that you probably use the point cutting technique again, what we did before, and just pull the hair out and just make some areas probably a bit smoother if you have too much volume or not the right shape. So I have here just some bits and pieces. Just go over the whole thing again. And now we're getting more and more into the shape I wanted to achieve. So I still have some areas they are probably a bit too bulky. And I use my vertical point cutting again. So you need to move the hair, you need to check yourselves, you need to see what's going on. And also in the same way, I can check now my very blunt line over here. Just want to make sure everything is even. But this hair is actually so rough. So that's why I probably point it a little bit just to make sure it works and it shows a beautiful shape. Sometimes on a bob, if the hair is too rough, probably it's even better to work with the tips of the scissors and just breaking the line a little bit. Makes your life easier. And it shows you still a very nice blunt shape. And now you can see it's getting more and more visual. There is less technique behind. And I think we have a lot of technique internally, which is very clean and smooth and sharp. And now here, this needs something different. This area needs more softness and a playful shape. Yeah, I quite like the shape now. I think it works pretty good with our look, Tony. Okay. All right, here we go. You can see it's and you also recognize that it's still a lot of work to reduce this amount of hair and make sure that it is a soft and smooth look. I can tell you on the model it was much more easier, but we have to adapt, okay? So this is a part of our job. And also you will have different hair qualities while you work with these techniques. So okay, so before we start cutting the disconnected area on the top, I will have to blow dry this area, and I will open, and maybe I can talk about the section again and probably help you a little bit to understand the section better. So maybe we can go a bit closer here. So this, what you see here, this is the natural parting line, okay? This one. And I have probably 0.5 centimeter downwards, a little section which drops on the top of the underneath section. So this area allows me to work with a little veil, what I love a lot actually. If you look on our training cards and also in our video, you will see different stylings. So you have the option to work with this disconnected area also on the other side. So there are many styling options. And now I'll show you the other side. So this is what drops on top of the underneath area. And also here in the back, same thing. This is a section which drops on top of the previous cut area, okay? So I will use now a little Essence de Protein just to smooth the hair a little bit down. And then you probably also recognized during my blow drying, what I've done previously, I used some volumizing lotion just to control the hair a little bit more and make sure that the hair is not so frizzy. So I might do the same now. Now on top, a little bit volumizing lotion. All right. So I'm working again with my ceramic brush. So, and from here, the next step is just making sure you're catching the right parting line. Sometimes you have a bit too much hair on this side, so that's why I'm trying to go back to the original one. Yeah, that's better. So again, I'm using heat protector. And now I'm flattening just the areas on top. And all around the head. It's quite a very fine section on top here. So this is also something where you could work on with different varieties. You could have more hair on top and also cutting the underneath shorter. So there are some options to play with that technique. All right. In the original technique, we were starting and working with a internal and diagonal shape first. So this is it. This is the part what I left out around the natural parting line. And this is what we use now very first. So we take it to an asymmetric shape. It's over directed backwards, and you will work more with a point cutting technique because you don't need any blunt shapes here. Okay, so this is something you should work only with the tips of the scissors. And now we're working with the parallel sections. Maybe I'm turning the head a little bit so you can see better. This is now the parallel section. And now you have to over direct to the back. But be careful here. If you cut too much, probably you cut something away. So I would always check visually within the mirror that you keep the lengths you need, okay? But this is still an internal shape what we're working on. Okay, next one. This what we do at the moment is also kind of preparing an area to create a solid shape, but still you are able to work afterwards with the freehand technique on top of this. But it gives you a guide. I think that's quite important. And also it's a great help, I think. So that was quick and easy. And from here, we need to start to create the disconnection. Okay. So I will start here on this side. And I will start with the front area. I think this is now quite an important point. Okay. So here you also can get the right dose or the wrong dose. I think if this stays too long over here, I quite don't like it. Okay, so I would cut it into a length which is just a little bit longer than the underneath, just to see, there is a little bit going on, and it works really pretty good when the girl is walking, that the hair is moving in a different way. So I like this a lot. If you're not a fan, you will have an option also to connect it with the underneath. Okay, so I think this is something personal. I quite like to play it. And also when you do the styling, you're easy. It's not a problem at all to get these longer bits on top of the other side. So I would rather use it and work with this disconnection instead of cutting it away. But you also can see I'm taking my time. I don't want to be fast here. This is something what you would do with some patience. And here's something black, a black hair. No, it doesn't belong to this head, I think. Okay, that's it for the beginning. And then we taking over to connect the back. And also here, what you don't want here is that this length drops on top, okay? So it should be a length which is ending internally in this underneath area. So I won't work here. I think this is a bit too short. I'm working here below the occipital bone. And at one point you have to decide if you add something to the front area or to the side area. So you have to check the movement of the hair. So I want to keep kind of a bob feeling here, but a very rough one. It's rough, it's bold, it's edgy. You can see here is less to cut. And now we're coming to the front. And here I will visually connect to the previous line, what I've created before. So now use your mirror. I just can use my monitor. I don't have a mirror. I just heard from Casper, who is my cameraman today and the past 25 webinars we've done together. We are quite a team right now, so I'm sure he's able to do some haircuts. And I'm also able to work with the camera, so it's really interesting how we swap our knowledge, exactly. So I just heard from Casper that there are some questions already there. So what you should do if you have a question, write it down in the chat function, and after this we will have some time to talk about it, okay? So I just want to make sure that I can work here and finish the card, and then we will have some time for questions. You see here, it's really important that we move the hair. We need to see how the shape is working and how the shape is developing. So for me, these moving and touching the hair is a kind of a visual cross-check for me. Now you see, we just have some bits and pieces on the side dropping on top of the line. And I think this works pretty good. And it shows us a very, very soft way. So this is something for our bob customers in the salon. I quite think we have a lot of them actually. And this could be a great variation where you still work with the features of a bob, but you give it a new perspective. I'm creating new words now. That's interesting. Okay. In the back, you can see that the internal shape is working a little bit asymmetric, which is good. This is what we need. And there's a lot of detailing going on. That's quite important. So I think now roughly we're coming to an end of the cutting. And you can see also here that the disconnection, it is there. You can feel it if you touch the hair and when you play with the hair, but it's not so obvious. It's not that we have an undercut where you would see, okay, there is a lot of length missing in between. So here it's a very subtle technique and a subtle way of using this technique. So, but it makes a lot of sense to me. We're just missing the color now. I was thinking about to do this haircut when the color is done on the dummy head, but this is what you would probably do also in the salon. But here, the problem is that the texture gets so much rougher, and I tried it once to cut into the dummy head's hair when it's colored already, and for me it's so difficult afterwards just to comb the hair. So, and it will make life really difficult for me. So that's why you will see after this later on Florian in Munich showing you in detail this cutting technique, color technique. And what I've done previously is I've already cut one dummy head for Florian. So you will see the finished look all together later in his webinar. So you will have one dummy head which has cut and color, and I think that should show you the great result and the great look of Tony. Oops. Yeah. So I'm just working a little bit with details, checking my shape, checking my lengths, playing around with the hair. Just to make sure everything works pretty good. Oh, okay, but that's a different story. It would also work on the other side, but this is not what we want to do today. We want to stay with our original look, because I think at the very beginning, it's important that you, the first time you work with that technique, that you understand how to do it. That's why I want to keep now the original look as good as I can. And then from there is the time where you would play with the technique and get different results and probably change something with the technique, different lengths. But always the first one should be kind of the original one. I think this is the best learning curve what you can get, actually. So all right, I think so far so good. I will use now some product. Here I will stay with the original product. Here it is. It's the light defining cream. This is the one what I also use on the original technique. We all know it. We all love it. I love it, of course. And this is what you use just here through the ends and mid lengths. So work it in. If you would have a hair quality like this in the salon, you could also work with a little bit of glossing spray on top, just to give the hair also a little bit weight. When it's too round, it needs to be a bit more flat. So that's a good idea, I think. I'll show it to you from the profile. Probably in this area here, you would see the disconnection the most, because the hair will probably stick out of the shape a little bit and show you the different lengths. And this is the other side. I quite like this area here. That looks right away like a little graduation now, because I worked a bit shorter underneath here. And it develops really nice, I think, here. And then you have the longer bits and pieces here on top. So this is something, when I go back and use my scissors again, where you could spend a little bit more time just to work on these bits and pieces here and make them really, really soft. All right. Yeah, this is it. So I think before we start with questions and answers, I would like to recap the technique a little bit, which is probably easy for you then to understand it a little bit better. So we start with the sectioning again. I would like to just explain it for you. So this is the natural parting, and on the right side, which is the shorter side, you have 0.5 centimeter. On the other side, you have around about 4 centimeters following around the head shape, incorporating the crown area, and you would end on the first vertical section with this one, okay? Then you start underneath with your blunt line. Make sure you don't cut the top away. That would be really not a nice thing or not good to have, all right? So then the next step is working underneath with horizontal section, everything up, okay? So you had the first panel, which is from the mid or the center of the ear to the front. And then we have the second panel and the third panel. And the line we will cut is horizontal on top, and then it follows slightly the head shape around, and it's getting a little bit shorter, okay? So then we over directed the underneath to this side, just to make sure that this area is a bit rounder, yeah, okay? I think it's a really important step. Don't forget to do that. Otherwise, you have too much weight underneath here, and it won't look right, okay? Then we did the blow drying. We used the iron afterwards. Then we had the top over directing to the side and then working freehand and incorporating the shape and the lengths. So just to make sure that everything is really soft. And yeah, this is this in some shorter words. I hope you enjoyed the technique. I think it's a fantastic look. I really love to do it because I'm kind of a bob fan, and I was thinking, okay, let's work with a bob, but make it really sharp and work with the idea behind being bold, okay, showing some courage. And this is what we've done, and I hope you love it. I hope you like it. I'm sure it's an interesting technique also for the daily salon work. And yeah, maybe now it's the time to work a little bit on questions and answers. So far, I heard there are some came up. Maybe to tell me what's going on.
We have questions. Where are your clips from?
My clips? That's funny. The clips, they are from a Japanese brand called YS Park. They are coming in many different colors. I like the green in the webinar because it has a really great color diversity to the blonde hair, so you really see what's going on. And I'm also a green fan, so it's from YS Park, and it's really a good quality. I can really make sure that if you use them, you will be happy.
Thank you. Why you use the volumizing lotion when you smooth it down afterwards?
The volumizing lotion is a great product, what it can also do, it controls the hair a little bit. And when you work on the dummy head, it's kind of a special thing. My original product on the model, on the live model, Tony, it was the volumizer, which was perfect because she had a bit finer hair. So when I started here with the volumizer, I recognized that the hair is really, really hard to control. So that's why I used the volumizing lotion in between and at the end, because it gives the hair a little bit more control, but it's still weightless.
Perfect, thank you. No more questions at this time.
Okay, great.
Thank you for this amazing look.
Yeah, thank you very much, Saskia. So we are a little bit earlier today. I'm quite happy about that. So because it's a long day for you, especially if you want to watch the color afterwards. So my recommendation would be that we have our break right now for half an hour and then continue.
Yes, thank you, Alexander. And we will be back soon in 30 minutes. See you later.
So thank you very much. Thank you very much to all of you. I also hope you enjoyed our presentation at 10 a.m. or earlier today, which gives you so much information about cut, color, and makeup with Andrea Bennett and Stefan Zoll. I hope you enjoyed that. And I'm sure if you couldn't watch it, you can go ahead and watch it later today. So make sure you watch our first view presentation online, which is on the Lab Biostatic site. And have a nice day. Have a great day. I hope you enjoyed it and see you soon. Bye-bye.
Welcome back, everybody. I hope you had a relaxing break. Now we come to our second part, the coloration. And hello again, Florian.
Hello, Saskia. It's good to see you. Hello from Munich.
Hey, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. How about you?
Fine,
you look gorgeous today, like always.
So I think we can start.
Okay, perfect. Hello, dear Lab Biostatic community. I'm happy to show you our new Spring-Summer 2021 Academy Collection, Bold, color part number 1. Today, I have a great color look for you. I'm going to show you our new color look, Tony, today, Dramatic Peach. Tony shows itself through 3 color and gloss pastel shades that are soft and seamlessly coordinated with one another. The shapes are round and merge softly together. The look Tony is colored from the following pastel shades. Base color number 1 is made of clear plus 1002 plus 84 ratio 10 parts of clear, 5 parts of 1002 and 3 parts of 84, 1:1 with tone lotion. Base color number 2 is made of clear plus 1009 plus 84 ratio 10 parts of clear, 5 parts of 1009 and 2 parts of 84, 1:1 with tone lotion. And base color number 3 is made of clear plus 6/5, 10:1 with tone lotion. Some of you noticed something now. I was just talking about 1002 and 8/4, but where do you find them? These are our color and gloss shades /02 and /4, but more on that later. I will now explain the technique to you. Our color look Tony is an enhancing and dreamy peach infusion for a shine boosting, flattering and uplifting color look. Color pop. In the salon, if you have a real customer, you first have to bleach to a level of 10. The original model from the video was bleached with blonde powder and 6% 20 volume. My doll here is already at this level, so I can start with my pastel shades right away. Okay, Saskia, can you please show us the technique sheet? Perfect, Saskia. Thank you. So guys, you have maybe, I don't know how long you need, 30 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes to mix your formulas together. And I wait 1 or 2 minutes for you. And I prepare my dummy head, my blonde Claudia, and then we can start together with the technique. Okay, perfect. I'm really excited today because this is our first digital first view and everything is new even for us. So I really miss you. I miss my hairdressers to see in our teaching classes. So I hope next year we can meet in Paris again. I'm just here with my cameraman Kilian. So it's good to be not alone in this very, very big room photo studio here in Munich. And I hope all of you are well and healthy. So, okay. So you need your clear, your color and gloss clear. You need your 02 and you need your 84, your copper. You need tone lotion and you need your /5. That's all what you need for now. Okay, good. The first step is, I'm going to show you the first step, how to do it. The first step is to write the yin-yang inspired shape in the top of the head. The best thing to do is to start by dividing the front contour. Please fix everything together with a clip. Then you can divide the second section. Okay. And the first step is to apply base color number 1 on the sides and on the back of the head. And I'm going to show you the first step. And our first step is to color every roots 2 to 3 centimeters on the back of the head and on the sides. But I'm with you and I'm going to show you the first step. You can just copy me. It's easy. And I think all of you got the technique sheets, but of course I can repeat the formula. So base color number 1 is a mix between clear, color and gloss clear, 10 parts of clear, and 5 parts of light beige, 02, and 3 parts of copper, /4. And of course, always 1-to-1 with tone lotion. So as you can see, my dummy head is already bleached. So she is on a perfect level of 10. And now I can start right away with my pastel shades. And of course, when you have a real client in your salon, you have to bleach it first. Okay? Please start coloring the outline of this section first, just to make sure everything is clean. And it's easier to apply when you separate this section and the outline first. That's our step number 1. And later, I'm going to tell you something about our new coloring gloss shades. Okay, so I start from back of the head and walk horizontal and color all my roots, 2 to 3 centimeters. As you know, coloring gloss is so easy to apply because of the perfect gel consistency. Our color look Tony is a mix between 3 different pastel shades. We call the look Dramatic Peach, because we have 3 different formulas. 2 of them a little bit warmer, and 1 of them is a little bit cooler. But you can melt these shades together because they are in the same color family. So when you are in the salon and you are very busy and you have no time and you think, oh my God, Florian showed us a very, very nice technique last week and I'm really in love with it, but I have no time to do the whole technique. So then just decide for 1 or for 2 different formulas. That's okay. So you are the hairdressers, you are the artists. You can be creative in your salon. And you can decide for 1, for base color number 3 or base color number 2. And you can decide for 1 formula and give it all over. And you also get a very nice and pretty result. So in general, when I work on a dummy head, I have to change the original formula. Because on a dummy head, of course, it's natural hair, it's natural human hair, but it's chemical treated. So you have to change your formula. For example, when you work on a dark hair, you have to go brighter, so that you see much more different result. But in this case, with our pre-bleached dummy head on our level of 10, I don't have to change my color and gloss formula. So today I work with the original formula from the Technic sheet, the original formula from the original look. That's easy for you, because this formula will work also on your client in your salon. So you don't have to skip, you don't have to change the formula. And that's good. So make sure everything is clean. So I work now diagonal back, out of the face. So in this way I can make sure my lengths and tips stay clean. Okay? Anyway, it doesn't matter because I'm going to color the lengths and tips later. But sometimes you have to work with 2 or 3 different formulas in one per se. So you have to stay very clear, very clean. Okay. Almost finished. I have one section left. And I start here also with coloring my outline first to separate my section from the other sections in the top area. And I go here diagonal out of the face. So the color is out of the face and it's clean. And this way it looks professional and clean, even for your client. The good thing is, on a pre-bleached hair, you can work very precise because you see everything. Okay, almost finished with step number 1. Okay, when you have colored your roots, you can start to color your lengths and ends with your gouache board. I think all of you know our gouache board, what I'm going to show you. Okay, I do love it because it's transparent, and I can make, in this case, I can make sure there is enough color even from underneath. So I love to work with the gouache board, and I also use it for freehand techniques for balayage, for example. But I can show you the next step, okay? Now you can start to apply base color number 1 to your lengths and tips. And put everything on a transparent foil. Of course, you can use different foils too. When you don't have transparent foils, you can use aluminium foils or paper mesh. But I really love to work with our transparent foils because I can see what I'm doing. Okay. And if there is enough product. So in this case, the dummy head is on a level of 10. I see if there is enough color and gloss product. But sometimes when you work with bleach or you work with color and light, for example, and you use some freehand techniques, some balayage, you have to look underneath and have to make sure there's enough product on it. Okay, that's why I love to work with this gouache board and the transparent foils. And it's fun to see for the client too, to see these different shades, the different formulas. And you can work very clean, very easy, and very flat. That's how we do it. That's how we want it. We want everything clean. That's our labiostatic way to color hair. I hope all of you got the information about our new coloring gloss shades. And I think we are going to sell it now, or we started to sell it in every country. So next week, from tomorrow on, you can ask your salesman. You can order it, of course. And I'm pretty sure you will have a lot of fun and creativity this spring and summer with our amazing new coloring gloss shades. And I'm going to show you later, when I finished my dummy head, I'm going to show you our new swatch board, our new coloring gloss swatch board, and I'm going to show you our new shades, our new formulas. I'm pretty sure you will be in love with this new shade. So please, when you use the board and when you want to color your lengths and tips, please comb it through and make sure there's everything colored. But we don't want to see any blonde hair later, okay? Okay. Section number first is finished, so you can cover it with foil. And continue on the next side. Okay, take a 1 centimeter passe, comb it through. I really hope we can meet us next year in Paris again and enjoy some good dinner or a glass of champagne later after the seminar. I really miss it. And sadly, I can't see you. So I don't know who is watching me. But yeah. As long as you have fun with our new color looks, I'm happy. I'm just here with Kilian, our cameraman, and I told him earlier, you have to give me some applause later. Okay, so I finished the back of the head. Now I'm going to move to the sides. And do it the same way. Diagonal back, out of the face, to make sure everything is clear and out of the face of the client. And I have a very special surprise for you later. Because I already colored this formula this week on Thursday. So you can see the finished result later. And of course, when you copy me right now, you also see your finished result, of course. And I got a pretty dummy head from Alex. And he cutted this look, Tony, for my demo. And later you can see cut and color on one dummy head, the finished cut and the finished color result. And as I told you earlier, you don't have to skip the formula because this amazing color and gloss formula is working on a dummy head very well. Okay? So you can use the original formula from the booklet, the original formula from the live model. And maybe Saskia can show us once more the technical sheet. Maybe some of you want to copy it, want to make a screenshot. Okay, we got a question, Saskia, right?
Yes.
Okay, please tell me.
Are the foils in between absolutely necessary, or you can save them?
I do it because it's clean. It is necessary on the first section, on the neck, to separate the color from the clothes, for example, or from the neck. But the foils between the passés are not necessary.
Okay, thank you.
have to tell you something about the foils. Maybe you we can switch to the front camera, please. Yeah, perfect. So we do have these plastic foils, but they are easy to rinse off, and you can use it again. Okay, you can do it. You don't have to throw it away. Okay, almost finished, labiostatic community. And then I'm going to show you our next step. And our next formula. So everything is clear, almost everything. Now it's clear. Okay, even when you have a very liquid, very jelly consistence, with a product like coloring gloss, you have to make sure you can work very clean. That's possible. Okay, but now I need a transparent foil, and to separate my first section from the two sections in the top of the head. When you rinse it off later, when you rinse your dummy head off, and the colors are going to melt a little bit together, it's not a problem because the formulas is very, very similar. Okay, so you don't have to worry about it. Perfect. Okay, the next step is, can we switch to the second camera, please, so I can show you the second section. Okay. We do have 3 different sections, and the second section, this is the second formula, is this bigger section, our biggest section on the top of the head. I'm going to show you the whole section, so it's a little bit easier for you to see it. As I told you before, it's yin-yang inspired, and those different sections are melting together. Okay, that's section number 2. The next step is that you open up section number 2 and color the roots with your next formula, with base color number 2. And base color number 2 is made of Color & Gloss Clear, 10 parts of clear, 5 parts of 1009, and 2 parts of 84. So 10 to 5 to 2, 1 to 1 with tone lotion. So it's a different formula, and this formula, the second formula, is slightly cooler than the first formula. Remember, because we used in the base color number 1, we used clear, beige, and copper, and beige is slightly warmer. Of course, it's a cool shade, it's a cool formula, but it's slightly warmer. And now we are getting step by step a little bit cooler with our peach formulas. And the base color number 2 is slightly cooler because we have the pearl inside. We have 10 parts of clear, and we have 5 parts of light pearl, and we have 2 parts of copper. Okay, and 1 part of tone lotion. Of course, always with tone lotion, 1-to-1 with tone lotion. Okay, so next step, open up your section number 2. And then you can start to color the outline first, to separate this section from the section number 3, and to work very clean. And I think you know what's next. The next step is to color all your roots in section number 2. Color your roots, please, 2 to 3 centimeters. That's our next step. Is section number 2. And when you have a real client in your salon and you have to bleach or high lift tint your client, make sure, please, the next step after the bleach is interactive shampoo and seal conditioner, or interactive and PCC mask to get a very even, bright and shiny color and gloss result. Color and gloss is almost my last step, okay? So when you have a hair who is a little bit damaged because of the bleach or the high lift tint, please use the PCC mask. And after the PCC mask, our color and gloss formulas.
Florian?
Yes.
Is section 2 going over the parting in the haircut?
Yes, almost. It's different. It's a little bit different because you have in the haircut, I have some longer layers in this area, okay? And this is already section number 3. But I will show you later on the finished dummy head. So it's easier for you to see the 3 different formulas, okay? Okay, next step. Same formula to your lengths and tips with your gouache board. Comb it through and apply enough coloring gloss. And separate it with your foil. So that's our section number 2. When do you have some questions? Feel free to ask us.
Florian, one more question.
Yes.
How long does a pastel coloration last?
Can you repeat it? Sorry, pardon.
Wie lange hält die Pastellkoloration?
Between 10 and 20 washes. It depends on how damaged is the client hair. Yeah, I think on a medium, I always call it medium damaged hair. What is a medium damaged hair? Medium damaged hair is, for example, you bleach the client once. Okay, that's medium damaged. And the client used our PCC mask, for example, then it's medium damaged. And yeah, that's the ideal situation for coloring loss, medium damaged. Okay. When you bleach the when you bleach the client twice, maybe it lasts just 10 washes. So that's why we say between 10 and 20 washes. Okay. And that's why you have to talk to your client about this pastel colors. But it's nothing new because we do pastel coloration since, I don't remember, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years. So we started with our pastel swatch board, I think in 2014. And in 2014, we got some lilac tones and some pink and some gray tones. And for the clients, so the pastel colorations, and even for you, it's nothing new. So also in this case, this coloring gloss, with this 3 different peach shades, that's the same. You have the hair have to be almost healthy with our PCC treatments, or maybe also with oil therapy. And with home care, of course, with Color shampoo and with Color conditioner and with PCC treatments, with PCC home care masks. Okay. Or with Glam Color. I love Glam Color. And when the client is a little bit creative, you can mix your Glam colors together. We also have Glam Color pastel colorations in our swatch board. Yeah, when you see the big swatch board in your salon, and we don't have much, but we have a few Glam Color pastel colorations. Of course, for this dummy head, Glam Color Copper is too strong. It's too, yeah, the pigment is too strong. But you can mix it, for example, with Glam Color Crystal or Glam Color Blonde. So you can make it softer, or you can mix it with PCC mask. And the client is also able to fresh up the pastel coloration at home.
Florian, I will show the slide again. It's best to take a picture of them.
Perfect. So almost finished with section number 2. But take your time and make a picture from the technical sheet and the formulas. I will show you our last step in 1 minute or 1.5 minutes. We have enough time. The weather is horrible today in Munich. It started snowing again, and yeah, so we have enough time to color our pretty color and gloss look Tony today. Okay. The next base color is base color number 3. And I told you, we always getting slightly cooler. So first we had the beige inside our formula, then we went slightly cooler with our light pearl, and now we have the mix between color and gloss clear and /5. Okay, and the ratio is 10 parts of clear and 1 part of /5, our red. Okay, and that's our shape number 3. And Kilian, can we switch please to the second camera, so I can show you? Perfect, thank you. So I can show you the last section, our section number 3. The section number 3 started here at the contour, and it's yin yang inspired. Okay, started here and go through here. That's our section number 3. I think it's the easiest way how to apply it when you start on the side here. Okay, and the last section is your contour section. So finally open up section number 3. And outline color the outline first. And now you already can see the difference in the formulas. Okay, that's so funny. I love to watch it because this formula is slightly cooler, and I really love this mix between clear and /5. That's one of my favorite formulas. I love to do it. It's not pink, it's kind of blushed, for example. And you do know our red, our /5. Of course, it is a warm red. But it's slightly cooler than our copper. That's why I call it blushed formula, because it's not red, it's just blushed. Also here you start to color your roots 2 to 3 centimeters. Make sure you have enough product. And everything is colored. Okay. And we continue to color the lengths and tips with our gouache board. But first I have to separate with my transparent foil. And I'm going to use my gouache board again, comb it through, and apply base color number 3. You can clean your gouache board from time to time. But to be honest, in this case, you don't really have to, because our coloring gloss formulas can really melt together. We will not have a break between these three different formulas. Okay. So I guess some of you are in your salons with your team or with one or two colleagues, and you can work together. That's fine. That's a good situation right now, because here I'm the only colorist. I'm the lonely colorist here. That's why I hope we can see us next year in Paris again. And enjoy our good time together, good looks together. That's what we love. That's why we are La Biostatic family. Okay.
Florian?
Yes, you have a question?
Yes. Do you always apply color and gloss on dry hair?
No, no. When I'm in the salon, and color and gloss is very liquid, and I work with maybe just one formula, yeah, to gloss something or to color something. For example, you bleached your hair and you have a yellow result. Of course, apply color and gloss on wet hair, yeah, on the wash place, because it's very liquid and it's easier to apply on the wash place. But when I have three different colors with different shapes, it's easier to apply on dry hair. Yeah, but you don't have to apply it on dry hair. I do it both. I apply it on dry hair and on wet hair. It really depends what I'm doing. But in general, in the salon, the glossing, the pastel coloration, when I work with one formula, I apply it on wet hair on the wash place. Okay. Good. Almost finished. And now you can see the different color formulas. Can you see it? It's lovely, isn't it? Yeah, this is our base color number 2, base color number 3. And yeah, I think also from the iPhone, from the smaller screen, you can see the different formulas. Okay. Last step is to open up section number 3, the front contour. And you know what's next. You color the outline first, of course, even in that case, because you want to make sure base color number 3 is just in this area, just in this section. And you can apply base color number 3 to the roots, 2 to 3 centimeters. Okay, but first I need a transparent foil to separate my base color number 2 on the top of the head. and to make sure everything is clean. Now I think it's better for you to see it. Very good. So almost finished with my roots. And you know what's next? You need your gouache board. And you can continue to color your lengths and tips in the same way with base color number 3. Comb it through and color the lengths and ends. And separate it with our transparent foil out of the face so everything is clean. So folks, I really hope you love this technique. I think it's easy. It's an easy technique. It's just 3 different shapes, 3 different formulas. And that's just an idea between 3 different formulas. And as I told you before, when you have one formula, maybe one formula is your favorite formula. You don't have to choose, you don't have to use every 3 formulas on one dummy head, on one dummy head or one human head. You can choose just for one formula. That's also possible, of course. And I'm really happy to have some warmer pastel shades this spring, summer. To be honest, I can't see those gray shades, gray pastel colorations anymore. It's really time for something new, time for new, fresh peach pastel shades. And I think all of you know how difficult it is to create a nice and bright and similar and even gray pastel coloration. And then in the most cases, it doesn't look good. And even our clients, even my clients ask me, do you have something new for spring and summer? I need really something fresher and much brighter than the gray shades we had the last years. So now you have 3 brand new color and gloss formulas, and you can surprise your clients next week with this amazing new spring shades. I call it spring shades because it looks like spring, it looks bright and fresh. Like blooming trees, for example, like a blooming peach tree. Yeah. Okay. Last step. So as you can see, I separated my contour section because it's a little bit easier to apply it this way. And I can make sure everything is clean. Almost everything, except of this area, but I will clean it later. I had to move the dummy head.
Florian, why do we have to apply the base first, then the length and the tips?
That's always how we color the hair. We always start with applying the roots first and then the lengths and tips. Because the ends and tips, the structure of the hair is different because the root area is mostly healthier and you need the lengths and tips accept the color quicker, faster. Okay, that's why we start to apply the roots area always first. And it's the easiest way for us colorists, because when you start to apply the lengths and tips first and then the roots, it looks like a mess. So it's easier and it's cleaner for you to apply the roots area first and then the lengths and tips. Finished. Almost finished. Last section for today. Finally, I made it. Okay, the color takes 20 minutes. You can rinse your dummy head off after 20 minutes. And that's even when you have a client, a real head, not a dummy head, a real client, the color takes 20 minutes. This formula, the color and gloss formula, takes 20 minutes. So you can rinse it off after 20 minutes. Okay, but that's not everything for today. I'm going to show you our new color and gloss swatchboard and our new color and gloss shades. Yes. Okay. Just give me a second. Surprise. We fresh from Pforzheim. So we created amazing new color and gloss swatchboard, and we have 7 new shades, 7 different shades. And now I'm going to show you. Can we switch to the second camera, please? So I think it's, yeah, that's good, isn't it? Okay. So we changed this swatchboard. So when you order it, I think we are going to sell it now in every country in the next weeks, next months. So you can ask your salesman on Monday or Tuesday, and you can already order it. Okay. So we got warm brown tones. We got 4-3, 5-3, 6-3, 7-3. Now you can color and gloss warm brown, and chocolate tones. That's amazing, isn't it? And we got 1001, light ash. 1002, you know this shade already. This is our 02. You already have it in your salon. We just changed the name of the shade, but not the formula. The formula is exactly the same. So the 1002 is your 02. Okay? Same with the 1003. It's your 03. Now the new name is 1003. Okay? Important. So these two different shades, you already have it in your salon. What's new is our brown tones, 4-3, 5-3, 6-3, 7-3, and also newest 1001. Yes? Then we got that 10-0. That's our new color and gloss shades. And 8/4, you already know it. It's /4 your copper. You already have it in your salon. Same with 6/5. It's our /5. You also know it. Yeah. 5/7. It's our /7. And brand new from Pforzheim, from our color lab, is the 971. That's a new shade. And I'm really in love with this shade because it's very strong, but it's bright. It's a mix between violet and ash. That's a new blonde tone to create amazing, cool pastel coloration on blonde hair. Also new is our 1007. Okay, that's a little bit different between the 1007 and the 1009. Because the 1007 is a stronger violet, a violet blue, and the 1009 is a violet rosé. So you have two different blonde tones on a level of 10. And that's not everything. Here we have some formulas we love. I'm totally in love with 1019. And with 1079, and my absolutely favorite is a nude blonde. Nude for me is always a mix between a cool and a warm shade. In this case, we mixed 1003 and 1009 together. So we got a 10/93, and that's what we call nude. It's not warm, it's not cool. It's not warm, it's not cool. It's nude, it's in the middle, and it looks gorgeous on every blonde hair. Okay, that's absolutely amazing. And I really hope you will have a colorful and a bright and a glossy spring summer 2021. And now I'm ready for my surprise, my already colored dummy heads, to show you the finished result. Okay, just give me a minute or a second. I want to have everything nice for you. Okay, now you can see Alex's beautiful haircut and the finished result with our 3 different pastel shades. Of course, you will see it on your dummy head in 20 minutes. But yes, that's our result for today. Now you can see here the cooler here in the front contour. In this case, you have your cooler, clear and 6.5. On the top of the head, you have the warmer peach tones. You can really see it also on the camera. There is a different shade on the front contour. But enough said for today. I really hope you liked our first digital first view, spring summer 2021 Academy Collection Bold color part number 1. And Saskia, please come back to me. I want to see you.
Hi.
Okay, do we have some more questions, Saskia?
Yes, one more.
One more, okay. One more is okay.
Okay. Don't you think the color gets more intensive when you put it in dry hair?
A little bit, slightly more intensive. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. That's all.
That's all? Okay. So again, I really hope you enjoyed our first Digital First View this season, Spring Summer season 2021. And we do have another appointment, Saskia, right? Next week.
Yes. Thank you so much, Florian. It was amazing. And dear Labiosthetic family all over the world, thank you so much for being part of today's webinar. On Monday, March 22nd, we have the next look, Nele. And you can also use the same link to enjoy the webinar. Yes.
Bye-bye from Munich. Kisses, Labiosthetic community. Bye-bye. Thank you.